similar pressures.
Wow.
Some other states, like Minnesota, is known for being pretty much more generous on education than.
So riddle me this, young lady. What is the minimum wage for America? Isn't it? I'm sure, isn't it like $15 odd dollars or $20 an hour or something? That sounds under minimum wage if you're only getting paid $1,000 a month.
Yes. Well, that was before they did that raise,
Okay.
but I think they justify it. I mean, they put it in as a salary too. And yeah, it's a joke because one of the before I got into the industry, one of the things was, well, you don't get paid a whole lot and you've got to work, years going up this ladder,
Mm.
this ladder of raises, but you have really good benefits. And that makes up for that. They reduced and cut into the benefit program. So I felt like I was being hustled for my medical benefits when I was signing up.
Wow.
So yeah.
Onwards and upwards. That's challenging. I mean, the children, as we know, it's cliche. The children are the future. So you're handicapping the future before they've even had a chance you know, to experience anything.
Yeah, I mean, and with everything going on with the woke agenda, I would just as soon homeschool or find the right private school. This is the right school.
So that's where the issue is of sorts. I mean, well, the challenge, should we say? So everything, life has challenges, and it's how we deal with these challenges. So homeschooling, great. So let's look at that. Let's look at that in detail. So if you're a single parent household, what's that going to look like? I think it's possible because I do know of people who are, raising multiple children on their own and are able to homeschool, but because they're independent, they don't necessarily work within a corporate system and have to answer. They have the luxury or, well, the ability to be able to juggle those needs educational wise, supplement it by getting tutors in to fill the gap, as you should, because we don't know everything. Two parents, I think it'll be a two-parent household, I think it'll be a lot easier to do that. But I think it's a case of parents really understanding what their jobs are. They've had some fun in the bedroom, and as a result of that, they've created a little life. And
Mhm.
how this plane of existence that we live on and the governmental system is, they're not doing the best for our children, never mind for us. So you as parents need to make whatever sacrifices you need to make, you know, maybe not
Mhm.
change the vehicle every 3 years, maybe just have a nice vehicle for the longest lease
Mhm.
and, just tighten the belt a little bit so you can, so the wife or the husband, whatever the financial dynamic is, can stay at home, can provide, can do the things so we can actually raise children to be successful members of quote unquote society. I don't know.
Mhm.
We can give that a go, maybe.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
As I say, though, it is a challenge. It is a challenge, especially for parents. But it's about making that ultimate sacrifice. Our parents did it for us. Many sacrifices to get to where we are now. Technological wise, we're in a very wonderful space, but also a very terrifying space because of this, as you say, the woke agenda and all of this weird stuff that they're sort of pushing onto society. Now, do what you're doing, but just don't tell us that we have to subscribe to this. If someone wants to call himself a penguin, by all means, but don't make laws to say that we have to call people penguins. It's, we're getting a bit out of kilt where there's homeless people. Look at the homeless situation across the world. In all developing countries, the homeless situation is absolutely it's diabolical.
What's kind of being described as like the collapse of civilization in a sense. And I understand because of all the mass crime and all the shifting, all the, so the immigration crisis as a result of crime. And there's just all this shifting and it's very chaotic right now. So hopefully we can tighten things up over here as far as policies go. Our policies need changed very badly. We need immediate change in
Yes.
leadership right now.
100%. Yeah, I've been saying for quite some time, especially obviously now with the presidential, debates and elections and stuff. It's elder abuse, Olivia. It's literally elder abuse. The poor Joe Biden, most politicians are terrible people. I mean, Joe Biden he wrote, sorry, there's my British coming out. He wrote the crime bill that disproportionately incarcerated, you know, quote unquote black people for drug crimes.
Mhm.
He did that.
Yeah.
We, we, we,
He,
you know,
He's
we,
very much a waffle. I mean, and
yeah,
very much. And what's really fascinating about him, what's their finances might come to light. It's so fascinating. The IRS, they have been refinancing their home over and over and over again every so many months. And they're like, what are they doing? They just keep taking these loans out.
mm,
And they're wondering if it's some kind of funnel system to pay off this relative or whatever, because the family's kind of a crime family and the way they're
yes,
working all these deals and stuff.
yes.
But to do that, to me, it's like you're definitely losing your cognitive ability because that is the biggest red flag. So the fact that he's losing it now, I mean, we're really seeing true colors. People could see it before, but now, even people in the middle can totally see that this family's out for themselves and they are going to destroy democracy. They do
Mm.
not care. And this is going fascism in the direction of fascism and
Very
uh,
much. It's almost democracy in the name of democracy only, but the underbelly is fascism with a, with
yes.
with a little hint of socialism to go along with it.
It's shocking to me that we are having issues with people attacking Jewish people in my country. I would have never, in all of my entire life being on this earth, thought that we would see that again, that we
Mhm.
would ever see that we would ever see people out on the streets denying the Holocaust, so misguided. So, but I do think it is intentional, and I do think we could beat it. I do think we can beat it, and I'm really grateful for people like Elon Musk is in the fight. He's got X, so you've got a platform. He took that over, so there's a free speech platform, and a lot of people are going there. But now he's joining the fight to sue these advertisers that go along. There's this advertising racket where the White House gives approved narrative
Ah,
messaging. And
yes.
that's how we are getting so, misguided
Mm,
on COVID, on everything. Whatever crazy kooky narrative they're going to want,
yeah.
our newscasters to project. And I'm seeing it now. I mean, I'm definitely seeing. So it's cool that this has come full circle,
Yeah.
and that now there's going to be lawsuits over just flat out lying to us.
Well, it's been recorded digitally through as I refer to it as the zombie apocalypse. We saw the lies. We saw the lies, and we're seeing the results. We're seeing now the mainstream news doing a 180, saying, "Oh, well, oh, we thought this. This is wrong. The statistics are now showing this." So people who are now kind of, wait, well, I remember that. But during that period, every day you were saying 55 million people here. No, not million, 55,000 people of here. This, we were just being bombarded with so much information. And if you wasn't a strong person and haven't done any kind of rudimentary research yourself and just rely on the little shiny box to tell you the information, you're going to be. I had family members, Olivia, who were petrified that they didn't want to leave the house.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad to think. Um, I really hope they put Fauci in prison. I think it could come at a later time because I mean things are just starting to kick up now. Let's grill him, in front of Congress. But that is awful to think that this was all over getting rich and a stock. And here these politicians were having backdoor meetings months before it just happened to break out and shut everything down, both Republicans and Dems. So
Both.
I'm tribal on, and I'm not into that party stuff, that tribal party stuff. What's truth is truth. But yeah,
Yes.
it's sad to
It
think
is. It is. But as you
all
say,
protocol.
100%, 100%. As you say, being cup overfloweth rather being half empty, there's a lot of people who are, now seeking the truth and wanting to know the truth rather than sticking their head in the sands, and just, oh, I don't, that's got nothing to do with me. That doesn't affect me. But so many things do affect us, and we are seeing the effects of these things that are so far away, thousands and thousands of miles away. What our governments are doing are now having an effect on us years ago.
We must open our eyes. And you're experiencing, where is your location?
England, Birmingham.
Right. Okay. I mean, you've had a lot of immigrants come over to it where maybe they haven't assimilated and haven't like, okay, well, yeah, but my Bible says this, so screw your laws. I'm going to go commit this crime, a violent crime, because my Bible tells me I can, that kind of stuff.
We're
Um,
getting we're getting lots of the everything that you're experiencing in America is because obviously England's so small. We experience exactly the same things. So we're getting people on boats that are coming over on dinghies, strapping themselves to lorries, flying over on a plane, and then their passport's lost, and then the taxpayer is paying thousands, millions of pounds every day to house them in four-star, five-star luxury hotels. Some of them, not all of them, some of them are just your average three-star hotels with accommodations being spent, little debit cards are being presented so they can go buy and have substance and stuff. The same rules, the same game, the same trick is being played globally. Globally. A bird has two wings, and the two main political systems, whether it's England, whether it's America, it's one bird. They just got two wings.
do you think that it is wealthy Democrats? Who's doing all this?
Uh,
Everybody always
Democrats
points to
that
Soros.
only in name, only in name. Look, it's like a football team. There's a head of a football team, and he's financing the football team, and he wants you guys to be in love with his football team to get the money. They all of the football team heads, they all sit together and say, what's this? What are we going to spend? How much money are we going to earn? Let's split it up. They're all working together. So it's only in name. Labour, Tory, Conservative, Democrat, Republican. These are just little lapels. Once the
Mhm.
cameras are off, they're shaking hands, they're smoking cigarettes, cigars, whatever else they're getting up to. They're all friends. It's just
Yes,
theatre. It's all theatre, young lady. It's all theatre.
I agree. It's crazy.
It sure is. But back to you, back to you. I think we've went quite deep there. I think we've quite deep there with that conversation. But getting back to you, if we can shove Marty and Doc out of the DeLorean and let's go back in time before you went to the Bunny Ranch,
Mhm.
was we into fitness and all that kind of stuff at that point?
Um, not with the same rigor. I mean, I did start out. So my whole thing was in high school, I was taking PE first period. And so I was actually like it was like 5 miles, but I had the energy. I look back on those days and like, boy, was I lucky I could get up in the morning and do a 5 mile walk, this nice 5 mile, clear your
Yeah.
head. How therapeutic was that? I didn't even know how good it was. And I'm sitting there thinking, I mean, teens, like we take all that for granted. Like I'm walking to school, but
Yep.
get there. And I was faced with, do you want to go with the girls? Do you want to go with the guys and lift? And I decided I'm much more attracted to the lifting. Never mind,
Mm.
guys, I want to lift. But it was awkward. It was awkward for me to be in there and going through puberty in my gym shorts. And then I went to go do, I'll never forget, I went to go do a squat and it was Mr. Skinner. And he was like Sergeant Slaughter, and he was the coach for everybody, the coach, everything football. He comes up and he's like, okay, you sure you want to lift with boys? And I'm like, yes, like, yeah. And it's like, well, this is the squat. Now let me tell you something. And he just starts because I was going to do it wrong,
Okay.
So like, oh, wait a minute. So he had to come over and give me the proper instruction on how to do a squat.
With the
But
correct form.
But yes,
with
the
the correct
right,
form. Yes.
gotta have good form. Avoid those injuries, good form, which I've been able to do, knock on wood. All of my injuries have not been in the gym because of being in the gym. So yeah, and then getting married and being a wife and going to school, I still take the kids out and do stuff, but it was really more after I divorced that I really started getting back into it. But it's always, I mean, more serious,
Okay.
right? Back in the day, it was like, okay, going to weight class. And then I joined a Curves right in high school. I joined a Curves for Women, which is an all-female gym. So
I
in high
know.
school, I had a member.
We had curves over here as well for a period. Yes. Yeah.
I would go in and this woman who she had thick thighs. She was hot. This blonde woman, and she did the step up class. Step up classes were
Yes.
popular. So I'd go in as a teen and I'd be like, dang, that girl. And I would get behind her in the class. I have a thing for this woman, she got me going. And
Mm.
then I went and got a book at Barnes and Nobles. Remember that was popular. And
Yeah.
this bodybuilder, I'm just like, my goodness, she had the 80s hair because it was a dated pic, but her legs, these thick thighs. I love thick thighs. I love big booty, big glutes,
Mm.
natural ones,
Yes. Yes.
that we've worked so hard
That
for,
that you
especially a white girl.
that you are either born with or, as you say, you have worked for, right?
Yes. In my case, I gotta work. Not come natural in my genetics. So I gotta lift on that booty.
Yes, but no, but look, you saw it. You was interested. You was intrigued. You took it a step further. Barnes and Noble. I guess Barnes and Noble, they still have physical stores, or are they no longer in existence?
I honestly don't even think I think they're on their way out or they are out. Yeah.
Darn.
The
Yeah,
changes, the changes of time and industry.
indeed. Digital, and the old Jeff Bezos came in with the old Amazon.
Hmm.
Yes. So, the weights lifting as a woman and you're competing as well, that's right.
I do competitions. Yeah. I was enjoying lifting and being a functional lifter. And what I mean by that, like I want to lift the most that I absolutely can. And I want to I'll rival the men. So it's not so much like, oh, look at me. Like I was never even into filming myself. I'm the worst about it when people are telling me, did you get your reel out this week? No, I didn't want to film myself, but I should be the one. But I've always just loved working out. It is my therapy. It feels great to be able to lift like so much and
Mm,
be a single mom. I've done a few moves in my time. So, yeah. And then people would say, hey, trainers would say, you should consider doing a show, the symmetry. You should consider, what you're doing right now without any formal education is pretty cool. You should come and learn more. So I decided, at one point, let's learn more. Why don't you challenge yourself? So whenever I'm in kind of a dip,
yeah.
I'll go get with a coach or a trainer and it'll get me going and they'll kind of revive my interest. I don't really need that so much these days because once you start stepping out into that arena of like you're going to go do a show or
Yeah,
as much as I've trained, I
exactly.
don't need that, so.
So riddle me this, because I've never asked this question before. What's the process of getting down to that shredded state? Obviously, you're gonna lift, you're gonna lift. Is it just getting rid of all the water? Like go through that kind of process?
It's kind of it's a slim down tightening of fat and water in the end. So, in the end, you reduce, it is fascinating. What they have me do, and people do it a variety of ways, but some people want to ring wash the cells out in essence. And so to do that, you want to pretty much empty everything out. So they'll have you go on to a dominantly protein diet, less carbs. So it's kind of that's just in the last couple weeks because remember, carbs are your brain food.
Exactly.
You need it. So you don't want to do that, ongoing, but that helps with the cut because you're going to slim down quicker.
Mm.
And then you play with the water and the salt, but you do this interesting towards the end, you do this, you up your water to like, I was doing 2 gallons of water a day.